Hey everybody, I want to talk about the ups and downs, the positives and negatives of this year's WrestleMania. As you probably saw already, you saw my live reaction, saw my review, but I'm here to give you my thoughts on the positives and negatives, the ups and downs of this year's WrestleMania. And you know, I have to say, folks, that it wasn't really well, as you're probably hearing here in the background, I'm recording it onto my big event DVD. The replay, that is. I got the live one on its own individual DVD. But the positives and the negatives, well, what can I say about some of these positives and some of these negatives, folks? What can I say about them that, well, has not been said already? You know, first of all, the positives of it. It had some decent matches, as you probably heard in my review. Some decent matches, no doubt about it. The positives of it is you had some decent backstage stuff. In fact, one of the backstage promos was with Austin and Rock, which was, you know, really, I think almost blew the roof off the Georgia Dome. Rock being the host was a positive. The only negative downside about that is he took up a little time at the beginning. I mean, I understand it's The Rock and everything, but he took away time from one of the negatives from something that ended up being a negative. Now, like I said, there was a lot of positives. There were some positives in here. Decent matches like Edge and Del Rio, Mysterio Rhodes, Orton Punk, Undertaker Triple H, no doubt about it, instant classic. Cena Miz. Those are positives. Those were some of the things that really brought it up. Those are the ups, if you will, the highlights. But the negatives, the lowlights, the downs of WrestleMania 27 were like this. First of all, I mentioned in the positives that Rock being the host was a positive. But the negative about that is the negative that came with that is he took up a little bit of time at the beginning, which ended up cutting out the United States Championship match. Now, according to some people, the United States Championship match ended up being a dark match due to this reason. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, you'd think maybe the 8-man tag match would have been the dark match, seeing as though that was like the last match added to the card. But that got put on instead. Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, from what I understand, ended up being a dark match for the U.S. title. This is almost similar to when the Colons, Carlito and Primo, were the WWE Tag Team Champions, and Miz and Morrison were the World Tag Team Champions. And the thing about that was, Miz and they just like they did with Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, they advertised the match for WrestleMania. It was even on the website. And what happens? The match ended up becoming a dark match, which you can probably only see on the DVD. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to advertise a match for WrestleMania, you should at least let it be on there. You know, some people say it was Snooki that took away from it. It wasn't Snooki's match. It was, it was the fact, I hate to say it was the fact that Rock took up a little too much time. That's all I'm going to say. I know some people may disagree, but that's what I'm saying. Now, the other negative about that, the anonymous GM. Oh, man. You talk about a guy that, I mean, you talk about something that shouldn't even be around. I mean, I understand Teddy Long being there, but Teddy Long was only there for one segment. Was only there for one segment. You had basically this anonymous GM for 2 matches. You had him at the end. You had them at the end of the Lawler Cole match, and then you had them almost at the end of the Miz Cena match. I mean, folks, if you're going to do something like that, save it for television. Save it for your regular weekly shows. Don't put it on the biggest show of your company's calendar year. Don't put it on there. What else? Oh yeah, the 8-man tag, which got put on instead of the U.S. title match. Didn't even last but for a cup of coffee or whatever. It was a complete mess. What else? Really not much I could say. The Snooki match, some people have their differences about it. I say it was decent. I'll put it like this. It was not a negative match, but it was not a positive. I'll put it like this. It was sort of a semi-positive match. Not a really positive match like the others, but semi-positive. But, again, the positives, like I said, you had decent matches. Miz, Cena, Del Rio, Edge, Taker, Triple H, no doubt. Orton, Punk, Rhodes, Mysterio. But again, the negatives, giving The Rock too much time, thus taking up time for possible U.S. title match. 2, the anonymous GM. I mean, come on. You know, I mean, there were a few negatives and some positives, but the thing is, come on. And the 8-man tag being too short. I mean, come on, man. Come on. I mean, honestly, you're going to make your match, make it right. Not make your match, but you're going to make your big event big. Make it big enough to where all people can enjoy it. Not just, your own satisfaction. But to me, those are my thoughts on what were the positives, negatives, highlights, lowlights, ups and downs of this year's WrestleMania. Tell me what yours were if you want to. Comment below. Talk to you later.